Have you ever looked at a stock chart and just thought, no way, a line that's just flat, 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 and then suddenly goes vertical? Well, today we're taking a look at one of those exact moments. We're going to dissect the wild, almost unbelievable story of VCE Health. So let's get into it. Right, let's start with this number, 71.52%. That's the gain that had everyone talking. And get this, it happened in a single day. I mean, that is the kind of move that can make or absolutely break a portfolio in just a few hours. It's a huge number, and it really just begs one simple question. And that's exactly what we're here to figure out. We're going to peel back the layers on this thing, look at all the technical signals, the flashing warning lights, and what might actually happen next. Welcome to the anatomy of a stock explosion. Okay, so first things first, let's just wrap our heads around the sheer scale of what went down on October 28th. To understand how it happened, you gotta appreciate what happened. And what happened was pure drama. I mean, just look at the contrast on this chart. The days leading up to the 28th are almost a flat line, just sleepy, normal trading. And then all the way on the right, you see it, this massive vertical spike that just dwarfs everything that came before it. It's like a sleeping giant just woke up and decided to run a marathon.
And it wasn't just the price. Check out the volume, the actual number of shares changing hands. It was astronomical. We went from a daily average of about 4.5 million shares to over 337 million. This wasn't some gradual buildup. This was a firework going off.
You know, even that huge closing price doesn't tell the full story, not even close. At one point during the day, the stock touched $2.52, but it ended up closing way down at $1.06. That massive swing tells you just how insane the trading was. A real tug-of-war between the buyers and sellers. So, were there any clues, any signs that a move this big was coming? Let's dive into the technicals. These are the indicators that were basically flashing bright green, signaling that some serious momentum was building up just under the surface. All right, our first tool here is the Average Directional Index, or ADX. The easiest way to think about it is like a trend speedometer. It doesn't tell you if the trend is up or down, just how strong and powerful it is. So VSC's ADX score, it came in at a whopping 43.47. Now, here's why that number is so important. On the ADX scale, anything over 25 is considered a strong trend. So at over 43, VSCR wasn't just in a trend, it was in a seriously powerful, high-octane uptrend. This was a major go signal for the bulls. And the ADX wasn't flying solo here. A bunch of other key indicators were all singing the same tune. You had the MACD showing that buying momentum was firmly in control. The Arun oscillator hit a perfect 100, which basically screams dominant uptrend. And then the on-balance volume and money flow index confirmed that a ton of actual money was flooding in. So yeah, all systems were go. But here's where the plot thickens. Because on one hand, you've got all this incredible, undeniable momentum. But on the other hand, a move that goes this vertical, this fast, it comes with a ton of risk. The very things that make it so exciting are also what make it so dangerous. The warning lights were definitely starting to blink. So let's flip the coin and look at the other side of this trade. For every technical indicator that was screaming go for it, there was another one whispering, be careful. These are the signals that suggest a rally might have gone too far, too fast, and could be running on fumes. And the most common tool for this is the Relative Strength Index, or RSI. Its whole job is to tell us if a stock's price has moved too high too quickly. It's trying to figure out if a stock is overbought and maybe due for a fall, or oversold and maybe due for a bounce. So, for VCE, the RSI clocked in at 65.90. And just like with the ADX, that number tells a story. See, a score of 70 is kind of the official line in the sand for being overbought. So at almost 66, VSCE was basically knocking on the door of that danger zone. It's a pretty clear warning sign that the buying frenzy might be getting exhausted, and a pullback could be coming. And again, the RSI wasn't the only warning sign. The Commodity Channel Index, the CCI, was at an absurdly high number. The stock RSI was maxed out at a perfect 100. I mean, you literally can't get more overbought than that. And the price had shot so far above its upper Bollinger Band, it just signaled an extreme and usually unsustainable move. And this quote from the source material really sums it all up perfectly. You have this beautiful, powerful, parabolic move, but all these overbought signals create a very real risk that what goes up this fast could come down just as quickly. So, that brings us to the million-dollar question, what happens now? When you have such powerful signals pulling in opposite directions, how do you even begin to guess the next move? Well, analysts are basically watching for 3 possible scenarios, and it all comes down to a few key price levels. These are the numbers that really matter right now. 190 is the ceiling, the resistance that the bulls have to break through. Then you have 59 cents as the floor, the support that could catch the price if it starts to fall. And right in the middle, at 166, is the pivot point, kind of like neutral territory. So here are the 3 paths this could take. Path 1 is the bullish case. The buying keeps up and the stock smashes through that 190 resistance. Path 2 is the bearish scenario. Those overbought warnings finally kick in, sellers take over, and the price falls to test that 59-cent support. And then there's path 3, the neutral case. The stock just takes a breath, it trades sideways around that 166 pivot while the market figures out its next move. And that leaves us with the ultimate question. Was this incredible move in VCE Health the beginning of a powerful new trend, or was it a final spectacular gasp before a sharp reversal? The technicals give us evidence for both sides of the argument. The battle lines have been drawn, and now all anyone can do is watch to see which story the price tells next.